With the Wynncraft 1.20 Gavel Reborn update, which was released on the 20th January 2021, the Forgery received a huge update. The Forgery is a place close to Sinfras, in where you can do corrupted versions of many of the dungeons that you have done before on your quest of Wynncraft. These are much harder than the normal dungeons and offer a much higher level, so that there are also some dungeons for higher level players. The 1.20 update changed the Forgery in two main ways. First of all, there's a change for how general dungeon keys work. After this update, people can now use one dungeon key to allow up to 4 players to pass into one dungeon, meaning that dungeon bombs aren't required as much anymore. Secondly, and probably most importantly, the Forgery Chest was added. The Forgery Chest is a chest which you can get combat XP, emeralds, runes, dungeon tokens, and even mythics from. To get these rewards from the chest, you want to run different dungeons in the Forgery without leaving or dying, and the more different dungeons you run, the bigger the reward in the chest. If you run each dungeon from the Forgery once, you will have a 1% mythic chance from the chest, which is quite high considering that normally only 7 of 1 million items are mythics. So how worth is it running these dungeons for mythics? How much money do you make, and should you do it? To get the answers to these questions, we should first find out how long time it takes to get a mythic on average. To get that, we need to first of all check how many runs it takes to get a mythic. Since it's a 1% chance that you get a mythic each time you open the Forgery chest after having done all the dungeons, on average you should get a mythic each 100 runs. But just because it's on average doesn't mean that you will get it on 100 runs. We can gain some insight from the probability mass function of X. With that, you can feed the number of mythics given at a certain number of runs into that function, and it will tell you how probable it is to occur. With that, we can get this diagram with the probability of finding a mythic. The dark yellow is at 100 runs, and as you see, there's a 37% chance that you find one mythic after those runs. There's though also a 26.4% chance that you find 2 or more mythics, and a 36.6% chance of you not getting a mythic at all after 100 runs. But to keep our calculations going, we're just gonna say that you get 1 mythic per 100 runs, so we can calculate how much emeralds you would on average make in how much time. Let's say that running all the 7 dungeons once takes about 45 minutes, which it did for me when I ran it once earlier. And if you multiply 45 by 100 to get 100 runs, it would take 4,500 minutes, which is equal to 75 hours of just doing dungeons. So after all the time, you would on average get a mythic. And the average mythic value that I calculated today, which definitely could be a bit different if someone else calculated, because they would calculate it differently, is 7 stacks of liquid emeralds. Though this definitely does not mean that you will get 7 stacks from your mythic. You could get a mythic that's worth like 30 LE, or you could get one that's worth about 20 stacks. It's just luck and normal distribution there again. But let's say your luck is totally average here as well. This would mean that each 10 hours that you spend running the dungeons, you would earn 1 stack of liquid emeralds. Though, keep in mind that it also costs to enter the dungeons. If you are using keys to enter the dungeons, then you would need 7 twice 100 keys, which is 700 keys. And if we say that each key costs 1 liquid emerald, that will equal to 700 liquid emeralds, or 11 stacks of liquid emeralds to get 1 mythic. But since you can share the keys with multiple people and multiple people can enter dungeon, let's say you do this with 3 different friends. Then every person would have to pay 2.7 stacks of liquid emeralds to get the 100 runs. So that's how expensive it would be if you would use keys. If you instead would want to use dungeon bombs to enter the dungeons, 432 dungeon bombs should be enough for 100 runs. If you want to cover the whole time that you're going to do the dungeons, it's going to take you 450 dungeon bombs. But quite a lot of the time you're inside a dungeon while the bomb runs out, so you're not going to need a bomb then. So let's just say that 432 bombs is enough, though it definitely is on the little side. To get those 432 dungeon bombs, you would need to buy 6 of the 72 dungeon bomb packs. Each one costing you about $50, meaning that you would have to pay $300 to get all the entries to get the mythic. And oh my gosh, That's just so much money for one mythic. It's insane. Plus that you have to put in so much time. So in conclusions, I would definitely say that it's not worth running these forgery dungeons to get mythics. If you want to get mythics, just go and loot run and you should be able to find a mythic in probably under 12 hours. The only time when I see that you could actually take advantage of the forgery chest is if you anyways need some XP for your class, since the chest gives you quite a bit of extra XP. So if you want to level, go for it, get the chest and get it for the XP. But do not get it for the mythics. Thank you so much for watching, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!